What is going on, YouTube? Brandon Connor here, bringing you guys back another deck profile. Now, today is a personal favorite of mine, and that is Junk Synchron. So, the reason this is one of my favorite decks is because it's pretty close to Yusei Fudo's actual deck in the anime, and it actually does well like at locals and tournaments close to that. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into this deck profile. Alright guys, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so for the Junks package, we have 3 Junk Synchron, because this is basically the heart and the soul of the deck. This guy does pretty much everything. This is your starter combo. He's your main key to go into Junk Speeder, the main Synchro monster. Basically, you summon this guy and he takes a level 2 monster from your graveyard and special summons it. And that's really it. You special summon a level 2 and then you go into a level 5. 3 Junk Converter. Now this is your main kind of searcher for Junk Synchron and how you get him out. So you ditch this card and one other tuner and you can search any tuner from your deck. So you ditch this card and another tuner, you get Junk Synchron, and then you normal summon your Junk Synchron, bring this guy back, and then go into your level 5 plays from there. 3 Doppel Warrior, another great extender for the deck. Basically, you when you special summon a monster, a level 2 or lower monster from your graveyard, you can special summon this guy from your hand. And then if he's used as synchro material, he special summons 2 level 1 Doppel tokens. And you use those to go into your higher synchro plays. So yeah, I would love to find more ways to search this guy, because he can be kind of hard to get in your hand and I don't see him very often. So my goal is to definitely find a way to be able to search this guy out more. Or at least not rely on him so much for all my plays, and to be able to go into bigger synchros through basically solely him. Now that's it for the Junk kind of package. Now for the tuners that I run in the deck are 1 Cyber Synchron, 1 Fleur Synchron, 1 Satellite Synchron, and 1 Quick Draw Synchron. These are the guys that you really summon off of Junk Speeder. This is the level 1 that you use. He can double a level 4 lower monster's level until the end of the turn. Fleur Synchron, if you use this as synchro material, it will special summon a level 2 or lower monster from your hand. Satellite Synchron can double its level, that's about it. And Quick Draw Synchron, you use him to go into Ultimaya Zoken or to tribute for Synchron, Stardust Synchron's effect. Speaking of Stardust Synchron, we run 1 Stardust Synchron and 1 Bry Synchron. Now this should be 2 Stardust Synchrons. However, I felt like this wasn't really necessary to go out of my way to get a second copy, because 1's usually all you need. But I did feel like the deck needed a level 4, so I had Bry Synchron. If you have 2 Stardust Synchrons, I would definitely run 2 of him though. To round out the Stardust package, we have 1 Starlight Illumination, and this should be Stardust Trail, but I couldn't find my copy of Stardust Trail. I looked for a good 2 hours before making this video, and it's just completely MIA. This sends a Stardust monster from your deck to the grave, and then you can just you would be sending Stardust Tail off of that effect, and then special summoning it to go into further plays. And like I said, this shouldn't be in here. This should be Stardust Trail, and it's just a proxy for right now. I was trying out the Majesty or Majestic Shooting Star Dragon play with this guy and the other Synchron Star, or the Synchron Stardust card, to kind of put it back on the deck or bring it to the top and go into Majestic Shooting Star Dragon, but it was just too inconsistent to save the deck. This was a lot more consistent. 1 TG Werewolf and 1 Tenyi Spirit Ashuna. These are just basic extenders to help you get into more synchro monsters. This guy plus a level 1 is a instant 8 or one of your level 2s, and he is a level 9. And level 3s are just pretty generic and helpful in this deck. I thought about switching out these cards for maybe more hand traps or something, but I like them and they actually do come in handy and they come up quite a bit often. One Calico Claw Crow and one Quillbolt Hedgehog. So this should actually be 2 of the Claw Crows. I just don't have a second one and I didn't feel like waiting for a second one to come. But yeah, Quillbolt Hedgehog is a super brick and Claw Crow is an extender. So I would definitely run 2 Claw Crow and cut the Quillbolt Hedgehog. One Synchron carrier, basically what this guy does is if another Synchron monster is used to Synchro Summon, you can special summon a token off of him and go into further plays. He used to be more viable than he is now, but you know, he's still worth playing. I just wouldn't run him at more than 1 like some people do. We run 3 tuning. This is the main searcher of the deck, main spell searcher. You play this card and you can search any tuner from your deck to your hand at the cost of sending the top card of your deck to the graveyard, which really isn't all that bad because sometimes you can mill like a Doppel warrior or a junk converter or just really whatever you need, and then you have a tuner in your hand and you can add a lot of the times I'll play this card and then I will add depending on what's in my graveyard, I'll add Junk Synchron, and sometimes I'll mill exactly what I need to special summon off of Junk Synchron. So yeah, this card is absolutely 110% staying at 3. I also run 2 Synchron Overtake. Now, what this guy does is you can target any Synchro monster in your extra deck that specifically lists a tuner that you need, which in our case we would be targeting Junk Destroyer. And you can either add that target, the described monster, in this case it would be, if it'll focus, Junk Synchron. So you can target this your Junk Destroyer and then take a Junk Synchron from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it to your side of the field. And the only drawback of this card is it locks you into Synchros, I believe. But that doesn't really matter because the entire extra deck is Synchro monsters. So for hand traps in this deck, I don't play too many. I play 1 Ash Blossom, 1 Ghost Ogre, and 1 Effect Veiler, 1 Seravis, the Ancient and Ascended. Now I play these guys because I wanted tuners for hand traps because of cards like Tuning and Junk Converter and all that good stuff. So if you wanted to make this like 3 Ash, 3 Ogre, or 3 Effect Veiler, you can. This was just an example to show you like different options that you can play. And if there's anything you want to cut for more hand traps, by all means go for it. If you think that is a more viable viable option route to go, I guess. But this guy basically just is kind of like a card by the grave almost. He can target a card that would target one of your cards and negate it just by discarding this card. So he's not the greatest, but he does come up a lot. I have actually considered cutting this guy for another tuner hand trap though, just so I can have another tuner in hand. So something I forgot to show with the hand traps was 2 Dark Ruler No More. Play this card for Dragon Link and a lot of other matches that you could probably face. I just felt like this was a necessary card for the deck, and it really does help out a lot. For the 1 of spell cards to finish off the rest of the deck, we run 1 Magical Midbreaker, 1 Reborn also. This card is really good for this deck and I wouldn't cut it whatsoever, and I 10 out of 10 recommend playing it. 1 Called By, 1 Reinforcements of the Army to search your warriors, because basically all this deck is warriors. 1 Upstart Goblin because 39 card deck and this deck needs all the help it can get to be consistent. 1 Foolish because there's a lot of stuff you can work around in the graveyard. And 1 Twin Twister. because I don't like back row. Okay guys, with the main deck out of the way, let's jump into this extra deck. One Power Gladiator. I run this because through playtesting I always felt like I needed an extra level 5, so I play this guy, a level 5 non-tuner synchro. So if you can think of a better level 5 to play, or not even necessarily level 5, just something better you might think fits better, let me know down in the comments. So one Hyper Librarian. This card's broken. You can draw a card anytime you synchro summon. Excel Synchron. Excel Synchron. This guy, you can ditch a Synchron monster from your deck to the grave and either increase or decrease its level by the sent monsters. One Junk Speeder. This is the heart and soul of the deck. This is the starter for all of your combos and your big plays. I've actually considered cutting the Power Gladiator and playing a second Junk Speeder. That's actually a pretty good idea. I think I might end up doing that sometime soon and do an updated deck profile. So continue on with the deck profile. One Stardust Charge Warrior. When this guy is synchro summoned, you can draw a card. He has 2,000 attack, and he can attack all of your monsters, special summoned monsters, once each. So if your opponent has monsters that are all under 2k, he can take them all out. But 2k isn't exactly that big of an attack, so that doesn't really come up too often. You mostly use him to draw a card and then synchro climb. So one Virtual World Kyuubi. I don't see a lot of people playing this card. I definitely recommend it. It's basically kind of like I think Macrocosmos is the card I'm thinking of. And it's kind of like a Dark Law. Any card sent to the grave is banished instead. Okay, so what this guy does is all cards that would go to the graveyard are banished instead. And once per turn, when an attack is declared, you can return one banished monster from the banish pile to the graveyard. And if this card is destroyed, you can banish a monster with a different type and attribute from each other, 2 different monsters, and special summon this guy, so you can keep recycling him and bring him back. We also run a Celestial Double Star Shaman. This guy helps you synchro climb a lot, and I think it's a great card. One Martial Metal Marcher. Again, he's here to help with synchro climbing, and if you use him as synchro material, any synchro monster you go into is counted as a tuner. One Junk Destroyer. I might cut this for Junk Gardener, so I could actually use it sometimes because I don't ever summon this guy. I always just use him for Synchron Overtake. One Ultimaya Zoken. You tend to go into this using a Excel Synchron and Junk Speeder or any of your other level 5s, or even Quick Draw Synchron and one of your level 5 guys. So this guy, you set a spell and trap card and he can special summon a level 8 level 7 or 8 Dragon type Synchro monster or Power Tool monster. One Chaos Ruler because consistency, and this is an amazing card. One Crystal Wing. You summon this off of Ultimaya Zoken. This guy is fantastic. If you get him out on the field, 9 times out of 10 you win the duel. And then to round up the last of the Synchro monsters, one Shooting Star Dragon, one Cosmic Blazer Dragon, and one Shooting Quasar Dragon. Now, we run the Shooting Star Dragon because we run the Quasar Dragon. The Quasar Dragon, when it's destroyed, special summons the Shooting Star Dragon from your extra deck. So if this guy gets ran over or somehow they out this, you have 3,300 backup that can attack for each tuner you send from your deck to the graveyard. And basically how that works is you send the top 5 cards of your deck to the grave, and any of those monsters that were tuners, they are counted as attacks for this guy. And then Cosmic Blazar is a little bit better than Shooting Quasar, I think, because he just negates more. He's an Omni-Negate, and this guy can just kind of attack multiple times. He can still negate, but not nearly as well as this guy can do. If you wanted to cut one of these guys, you could either cut Blazar for something else, or if you were to cut Shooting Quasar, I would cut both of these guys because there's really no point in running Shooting Star if you're not running Quasar. But yeah, that about wraps it up for the deck profile. and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Alright guys, now that was my deck profile on the Junk Synchron deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a really fun deck, and I had a lot of fun doing this video. And I think this is a great deck, and I really think that if you're an anime fan, and if you want to try and do a decent out of locals or something like that with an anime deck, this is the deck for you. So anyway, remember to check out some of my other videos, and always remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's a deck you want to see next, let me know down in the comments. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.